Hey man, how are you doing? Good to see you again. Today, I'm gonna be skateboarding and also telling you how to do this full time and kind of let you know what it's like, what it's really like. All right, let's do this. Okay, so let's talk about what it was like when I first started. When I first began, I was doing a 9-to-5, and it was a very safe 9-to-5 job. It was a very good job. It paid well, the benefits were great, the atmosphere was nice, the employees were my friends. However, I wasn't happy doing what I was doing, so I decided to take the jump and do this full time. I didn't know how much money to save up, so I kind of just took a guess that maybe I needed like 2 years worth of expenses to do this. So that's kind of what I did. It's a really crappy bridge. And then I just started building up my portfolio every single weekend, just taking on whatever job I could. At some point after posting it enough, people started to hire me and I started to charge. One of the questions I get a lot is, do I need an LLC or a business license to do this? Quick answer is no. However, I still recommend that you get an LLC just because it protects you and it allows you to do a lot more than if you didn't have anything at all. You do also have the choice to do sole proprietorship or LLC. Again, I still recommend the LLC just because it protects you. Sole proprietorship kind of puts everything on you, while LLC kind of spreads it out. Do more research, but that's kind of my recommendation. So how do you even go about making this business happen in the first place? I honestly had a lot of trouble in my small town with getting my license started. It seems like every phone call that I made was just going in circles and nobody could actually give me my license. So I luckily came across the best thing ever. I'm not sponsored at all, by the way, but I use this thing called Northwest Registered Agent. And basically they set up everything for you. They make it stupid easy to have this business even started. And what's really nice is usually whenever you have your own business, your address is completely public to everyone, and they use their own address when you have your business with them. So it doesn't have my house address anymore. Now it has them. So highly recommend Northwest Registered Agent. I'm gonna leave a link down below. When you first start, the likelihood that you're gonna undercharge is very high, which is okay. And I actually recommend it at first. I know that sounds like kind of weird advice, but hear me out. When you first start, you're just getting your bearings and you're probably not sure how to run your business and everything about it. So what I would recommend, honestly, is doing a lot of free work or a lot of very cheap work. And in that, you're gonna gain the experiences, you're gonna start networking with people, and then you're really gonna start figuring out what you're made of, what you really wanna focus on, and then you can start going up in prices. I would start networking with some photographers around you and just start gauging their prices and see where they're sitting. Now, a piece of advice though, don't stay in the same pricing area as every other photographer or anybody for that matter. And here's why. Think about the Apple iPhone. You know that they charge way more than anything else, yet they still have the biggest customer base when it comes to phones. So really, it depends on the experience that you give people. Oop, they have poles up now. Better not hit those. Whew, we're going fast. Wanted to pause for a second here and just talk about taxes. I would look up your local laws and see what your write-offs can be. What I do as far as write-offs is I make sure to track every mile I can, and I use that. I use an app called Everlance, and I keep it on all the time. So anytime I'm driving anywhere, I write it off. Everything that you buy or rent out for your business, that is a write-off. You need to make sure that you keep a copy of these receipts, whether it's in your email or physically. I do both. I have a filing cabinet, which I stick a little envelope in it with all my receipts, or I have my email, which just says, receipts or business expenses. Business expenses is actually a better way. By the way, your biggest expenses are obviously gonna be your camera gear. It's gonna be the camera itself. You don't need to worry about getting the most expensive thing at the beginning. You want to make sure that you get comfortable and you get good at what you do. And what's important is how you make people feel, the experience you give people. And then as you get good with that, then you can start leveling up and buying more expensive gear. So Ryan, my question is, how do I even find clients? How do I start doing that? Do I need social media? The cool answer is no, you don't need social media at all. You can do this entirely on the internet or off the internet. Get on Instagram, get on TikTok, Facebook's all right. Honestly, you can probably just stick to Instagram if you're really worried about it. But just start posting. Show it in front of your family members. Show it to your friends. Show it to people you don't know. Share it with the world. It doesn't have to be the best work. Just get it out there. Eventually, somebody's gonna reach out to you and offer to pay. But let's say you don't wanna do the social media route. And this is kind of where I'm going. I'm really getting sick of social media. Word of mouth is still the best way to do things. If you're a little bit more extroverted, go to businesses physically, reach out to them, meet up with people and say, hey, look, I'd be willing to do this for free. You know, I'm just building my portfolio. And then the more you do that, inevitably, these people are gonna reach out to you. You're gonna be able to start getting a lot of business without having a lot of social media. If you're introverted, don't worry, I got you. If you're introverted, it may not be the most fun thing to do, but email, messaging people on Instagram, or otherwise just reaching out to people locally through like text messages. Like I said, text message, email messaging, that's gonna be your avenue. That's gonna be the way to go. The other way to get clients is to be different. Now, I'm not saying show up in a clown outfit and start taking pictures. You can, that would be different. But what I mean by different is giving people a different but good experience, pricing yourself differently, giving them different packages that maybe other photographers aren't thinking about or doing. You do not have to overthink this. You don't have to be super extravagant with it. You don't have to go crazy. For example, if you love, maybe you're a big anime fan. Maybe you're a big anime fan. You can photograph people who are in the anime scene. Or maybe your poses are dynamic, like a lot of the characters on the shows, you know what I mean? Maybe you're really into cars, maybe you're into things like that. You can find a way to incorporate that into your work. And again, it'll make yourself stand out. Okay, but Ryan, how do I get people to trust me? How do I get clients to even trust me in the first place? You need to be professional. One of the ways to be professional is to have a website. Highly recommend having a website. Don't just use Facebook, don't use Instagram, don't just use TikTok. I use Squarespace. Again, I'm not affiliated, but it is one of the easiest things to use. You can have a website up in minutes. That's not an exaggeration. There's something so cool about not being limited to Instagram grids and then showing all your stuff. You can put videos on your website, you can have pictures all over the place. You can make it look as beautiful or as crazy and cool as you want. The second way to be professional is to absolutely know what you're talking about. Do it so much that it becomes ingrained in your head that whenever you're talking to the client, it sounds like you've been doing it for years. And the third thing, and this is probably one of the most important things, is set clear expectations. Let people know exactly A, B, and C, how you run your business. Don't leave people guessing. If somebody doesn't know the next steps, they're not gonna work with you. And this was one of the biggest problems that I had when I first started. I wasn't very clear with people, and I was kind of like, yeah, I guess we could do this. Guess we could do that. My prices were changing all the time, and it made no sense. Do contracts, don't be afraid of contracts. Contracts will save your ass. Those are kind of the 3 or 4 main things that I would do. All right, how do I pan this thing from here?
How are you?
Good, how are you doing?
Woo-wee. The hill rough.
Yeah, I'm glad I have my board.
You got some help.
I do. All right, so let's talk about what it's like to do this full time. So I have finally, after 4 or 5 years doing this, found my flow. And that's about realistically how long a business takes for it to take off. You're gonna go up and down all the time. You're gonna have dips, you're gonna feel stuck, you're gonna go through all these waves of emotions. It's never going to stop. Like there's downtime, there's up time, there's gonna be times where you feel like you're killing it, you're on top of the world, and there's gonna be times where you feel like you just made the biggest mistake of your life. Be patient with yourself. This is normal. It's supposed to happen. This is totally normal, accept it. So let's talk about like what my days actually look like every day. Like what from when I get up, from when I go to bed, what do I do? So the cool thing is I'm not doing anything extravagant, and you don't have to either. I don't wake up and take those 4 a.m. stupid ass cold showers. I'm not answering like 100 emails. Realistically, it's like maybe 4 or 5 a day. All I do is get up, I stretch, I make coffee. Before I start getting on TikTok or Instagram, this is really important. I've learned to discipline myself and start working immediately. If I have downtime, if I don't have any client work, which is normal sometimes, I either make videos like this. I still do free shoots from time to time. If your goal is to have, 5 photo shoots and you've only booked 2, well then book 3 more and make that number happen. Towards the middle of the day, I eat lunch, I make sure to get out and go walk, because one thing that is kind of a big mistake is a lot of times we get hyper-focused and we stay inside. It's still important to go outside and walk and to separate yourself from your work, like I'm doing right now, because you will depress yourself very quick. You will very quickly get burnout. Give yourself a break, go outside, don't hyper-obsess over this. This stuff will be back whenever you get home. Enjoy the air, enjoy the breeze, talk to friends, go out, meet somebody for lunch, then come back and continue your work. From there, I'm just continuing my work until my wife gets home, and then we usually go to the gym. I highly recommend going to the gym. I can hear you groaning. One of the reasons why I'm still going strong in my business is because I go to the gym. Now, I'm obviously not huge, but you don't need to be. I try to discipline my mind to go every single day when it's cold, when I'm tired, when I don't want to do it. That's the best time to go, by the way, is when you really don't want to do it. It trains your head to get in this consistent role, to keep going every single day. Sometimes I don't go, most of the time I don't go on the weekends, but just at least 3 to 4 days out of the week. If you can go to the gym 3 times out of the week, you are going to see a difference in how you're building your business. So, do I ever experience burnout? Hell yeah. Sometimes we tend to forget our health, our mental health, but it is very, very important, especially as artists, because we're so chaotic, that we keep doing other forms of art. Don't abandon things like, if you play guitar, or if you draw, or if you sing, or if you do anything else, if you run track, don't give that up for the sake of your business. Do all these things intermittently so you don't have burnout. And also remember to be kind to yourself, because this is not the most important thing in the world. Yeah, I know money's important and we're in a big old recession, whatever the hell right now. America kind of sucks at the moment. But give yourself breaks. My wife told me recently that I need to take at least 1 day out of the week, because I haven't been doing this the whole time. Take at least 1 day out of your week where you do not touch anything photography related. Don't even work in the same room as your edits. If you work on laptop remotely, don't touch your laptop. If you're in the room with your PC, stay out of that room. Do anything you can to get away. Like maybe have a technology-free day if you can, just your phone around you so your brain rests. There's a reason why we have the day called the Sabbath. It's for rest. You need to rest. You have to stay away from your work from time to time, at least once a week, or you're going to eventually run into burnout, and sometimes that can last months. All right, let's get up and let's go somewhere else. Okay, I'm not a seasoned YouTuber, so I got my notes right here. I had some people ask, what is the hardest part about running a photography business? And that's a really easy answer. It's doing this alone. Running any type of business is very lonely, and here's why. People don't support you. They say that they do, but friends and family do not support you as much as they say. Now, this isn't a bad thing. Don't let this get you down, because truth be told, you do not need their support to do this. But I had some friends really question me, like, hey, why are you doing this? You had savings, you had a good paying job. It was 8 to 5, it was very safe. But the thing is, the reason why I do this is because we get to live one time. We get to live once, not to be too dramatic here, but this is why I do what I do. And I would rather know that I tried this and failed rather than never have tried it at all. I don't want to be on my deathbed regretting never trying this. That's my reason for doing it. And yeah, you're not going to have a lot of support when you do it, but again, don't worry about support. Support will show up the more you get into this. You're going to find other people that are doing exactly what you're doing, or maybe they're in the same niche, maybe they're in the same market. Those are the people you need to find. So when you're doing this at the beginning, what I would do is don't worry about the support that you're going to get or not get from your parents, your family, your friends, whoever, spouse, whatever. Look for other business owners. I'll give you an example. When I was first starting out, I knew that I was going to be doing a lot of weddings. So I found a wedding venue that started at the exact same time as I did. So what I did was I reached out to them and said, hey, look, I'm just getting the ball rolling. Seems like you guys are too. I would love to come take pictures up there for free, and y'all may use the photos however you would like. We didn't sign a contract or anything. We just created that friendship. And through that, I got who knows how many wedding clients. I bonded with them, I became their preferred photographer. It blossomed into a wonderful friendship. And from there, my business really grew. Find people that are kind of where you're at. When I first started, I thought I was gonna have to reach out to Peter McKinnon. If you never heard of him, go check him out. I was looking at all these big name photographers and I was like, oh, I'm gonna have to reach out to them. I thought I was gonna have to get support from like really big photographers. I was gonna have to get mentored by them and get like all sorts of advice from them. Not true. The best support you can get is people who are on your same level, who are like maybe just under you, maybe just above you, but y'all are all going in the same direction. Don't worry about getting ghosted. People are gonna ghost you a lot at the beginning. People still ghost me, and I've been doing this for 4 or 5 years. Don't take it personally, move on. It's okay, it's okay. If you ever get ghosted, just remember we do ghosting all the time too. Think about the last time you put an Amazon package in your cart and you were excited, you were ready to buy it, but you didn't. And then you forgot all about it. Same thing happens here. At the end of the day, we are a product. Don't take it personal. It has nothing to do with you. And it has everything to do with people just, I don't know, they just get excited and then they forget. It's normal. And you're gonna feel like you're growing at a snail's pace. This is a good thing. The reason why things should go at a snail's pace is because a snail's pace is what it takes for your mind to establish itself to handle a business in the first place. It needs to go slow and slowly pick things up. You don't go to a gym and start lifting, just curling a 100-pound dumbbell right away, do you? Your brain is the exact same thing. It's still a muscle. So as you're working your way into your business, embrace the snail's pace. So the biggest takeaway here is to be patient. You don't need 100,000 friends to be able to do this, and you don't need 1,000 apps to run your business. The more you minimalize this stuff, it'll be easier. Okay, next question is, how do you handle slow seasons? First thing is, don't panic. Things come in waves. January, February, winter months, things are really slow. Don't panic, let it happen. Don't blow all your savings. Don't blow all your money. Try to meet that quota, like I said. You don't have to sit there and make a bunch of sales happen. People don't know that you're doing free sessions, right? For example, if you want to be a senior photographer, you want to be a maternity or a dog photographer, hell, I don't know, whatever you want to do, foot photographer. Take whatever paid shoots you have, do free ones until they meet the quota, and just keep that consistency going. One of the biggest mistakes, kind of like what I was talking about earlier, is I did not set clear expectations. And that was because I didn't know my business. I didn't know how to shoot or what I wanted to shoot or what to expect. You know, I had my prices all over the place because I thought, oh, maybe this person could afford me more. The second mistake I made was being too nice. I think you can be a respectful and honest person and not have people trample over you. But sometimes people are so nice, like this was me. If I felt like somebody couldn't afford me, I would drop my prices down. Here's why this is a really big mistake. I just undervalued myself. I just said, yeah, I'm not actually worth 300. Yeah, I'm worth like 150. That mistake right there cost me who knows how many customers. I did it so many times. It hurt me more than it helped me. It rarely ever helped me. And the time it did give me customers, all it did was give me cheap customers. And finally, one of the other biggest mistakes that I have done, and I've done this 100 times, take the down payment before booking the day. I'm gonna say that again. Take the payment before booking the day. If you book the day without the payment, the likelihood of them not even showing up is extremely high. And then you won't have a photo shoot, you won't have a client, and you pretty much missed out on potentially making money that day, and you don't wanna be there. Because I've been there like 50 times. I do not care. I do not care if it's with your family member, if it's with your best friend Jennifer, or your homie Dan. I don't care who it is. Make people pay for the day. People who are closest to you are more likely to screw you over anyways. If you do things without asking people to like pay for it up front, they just don't show up. They get sick or they're too tired or something. Something always shows up. Make sure you do it. Do not book that damn day until you have a down payment, okay? And if they give you any shit, you can just send them this video.
Give him his money. Give him his money. Give her the money.
You are inevitably gonna feel pretty down from time to time. You're gonna feel kind of stuck during this process, but just keep being consistent. Just keep showing up, even if you really don't want to. Sometimes those dips are gonna feel like not having a lot of money for things. Maybe you feel judged by people. Maybe you're wondering if you're not sure which way your business is gonna go. But if you ever do inevitably reach that low point, that is simply an opportunity to try something new. Anyways, guys, with that being said, you've got this. I'm about to take my longboard, ride dramatically into the sunset, like I said, and that'll be it. So take care. I believe in you. Now I gotta go back and get the camera. There he is. How do people do these shots over and over? Like, I gotta come back and get the camera every single time? I don't know how y'all do this.